Hey everybody, it's RLCLONED. Welcome to my next video about Pokemon teams and team building, Pokemon metagame, Pokemon guides, whatever it's going to be called. Um, so, for this video, we're going to be talking about a very powerful Pokemon. It's been all the way powerful since Gen 1, Gyarados. Gyarados is a fantastic Pokemon because of several different factors. First of all, it gets the ability Intimidate. Intimidate is extremely useful because in this case, you can send out a Gyarados on any physical attacker that you think might be scaring you a little bit. And for example, say it's one of those physical sweepers. Send in Gyarados, lower its stats, and all of a sudden now it's fast, but it can't do enough damage to you because Gyarados is a bulky Pokemon. It's a pretty bulky Pokemon, so you can actually tank a couple hits from them and then be able to respond back, set up a Dragon Dance while they're trying to switch, because if they're -1 attack, they might switch because they can't do enough damage to you. Also, if they can't do enough damage, then you can still just try to hit them with a heart attack if you know you can one-shot them. And also, for the other ability, Moxie, it's going to be useful. I'm going to talk about it a bit later. But for now, we're going to talk about the big deal, the reason why Gyarados is super strong in the metagame nowadays, Mega Gyarados. Because Mega Gyarados, when it evolves with the ability Mold Breaker, which actually prevents other abilities' effects from taking effect. So this is actually pretty useful considering that there are lots of Pokemon that basically rely on their abilities for the most part. Because you're going to have Pokemon like, for example, all the Beast Boost Pokemon, all the Ultra Beasts that are trying to get the little bit of damage and so they can get that boost. What about Ash Greninja? You send in your Gyarados and Mold Breaker, it can no longer become Battle Bond Greninja. It's not possible, because its ability stops functioning because of Mold Breaker. It's really useful ability, great to have, but you need to know when to Mega Evolve. So, the goal is with Gyarados, once you start getting better with competitive Pokemon, you're going to need to learn when you want to stay as normal Gyarados and when you want to Mega Evolve. Obviously, if you see a threat like Tapu Koko, for example, you're going to want to Mega Evolve because you're a Water Flying type. Electric type attacks will crush you. There's no survival from electric attack unless you Mega Evolve. Then, with Mega Gyarados' increased stats, 32 special defense, which is the exact amount they put it at, gives Tapu Koko only a 20% chance of being able to OHKO you with Thunderbolt in electric terrain, which is really nice, because 30% is really low. I mean, obviously, there is a chance that it could OHKO you, but more often than not, you're going to be able to outspeed and kill that Tapu Koko once you get that Dragon Dance in. So they might not expect that if you're running this specific build. They won't expect you. They'll probably expect to one-shot you, and they won't even care. But when you surprise them with that little bit of special defense investment, that's why EVs are super important. You got to make sure you know where to invest them, what Pokemon are threatening you, and how to survive them or how to outdamage them. So that's a little bit of a tip for you guys. 32 special defense in Gyarados means that it can tank a hit from a Tapu Koko in electric terrain, which is pretty nice. But now we're getting into the moves. Dragon Dance raises your attack and speed by 1 stage. So this is going to multiply your attack and speed by 1.5 times, which means that now your attacks are going to be doing a lot more damage. You're going to be able to completely destroy any opponents coming in. You're going to be able to outspeed an opponents coming in. So, the reason why you run the specific moveset for this specific situation is because Dragon Dance Gyarados is going to be really useful because Waterfall has a 20% chance to flinch the opponent. So if you're going to be outspeeding them with those Dragon Dances, you might have a 20% chance to just sort of win because of the fact that you just flinch them and now they can't get their attack off and now you're still at high HP, so you can still sort of crush them all. Crunch is actually really useful because once it Mega Balls, it becomes a Dark type. And once the Dark type's going to get stab bonus off of Crunch. By the way, stab is the same type attack bonus, in case you were wondering. But you're going to get that Crunch bonus, Crunch stab bonus once you Mega Evolve, and that's going to be enough to OHKO defensive shield form Aegislash, which is extremely useful to have because Aegislash is very tanky Pokemon in its shield form. So if you can one-shot that with no investment, at +1 I believe, it's incredible. And Earthquake is also extremely useful for getting lots of the threats that you're not going to be able to hit otherwise. And also for getting Pokemon like Toxapex, which are very common in this metagame. Also Tapu Koko, as I mentioned earlier. Really useful moveset. Next one is going to actually showcase the other ability, Moxie. So instead of going for that Dragon Dance, what you can do is you can go Choice Scarf, get the speed without any boosting at all. If you can get a Pokemon when it's like just about to be dead, and they're just gonna like sack the Pokemon anyways, you can go and kill the Pokemon, Moxie boost. Now you're at +1 attack, and you got the +1 speed from the Choice Scarf. So now you got an effective Dragon Dance without having to spend a turn boosting. So after you get that, then you can sort of try to steamroll through the rest of the team. But because you're normal Gyarados, you're not going to have the same damage output that Mega Gyarados would have. And you're also not going to be as tanky as Mega Gyarados, so there's no reason to put any special defense investment because you need as much attack and speed that you can possibly get. So it's not the most advisable moveset, but it is a possible option. Also, Ice Fang is very useful for Garchomp because it's a ground dragon type, so it's going to be double super effective. The next one is going to be the Tank Gyarados, which is a little bit interesting because it's not really a thing. People don't use it ever for any reason, but you can use it if you want to. So you can go Agua Berries, that way you can restore half of your maximum HP if you're under a quarter health, with which this build, you're probably going to end up going to kind of low HP ranges pretty soon. So you're going to sort of go for a Toxic first turn. You're going to want to go on a physical attacker or a special attacker in this case. That's why I have Intimidate on this, because you can go into a physical attacker and tank their defensive hit, or because you have so much special defense investment, you can still go on a special defense, special attacker and take their special defense hit pretty easily. But you Toxic, you Protect to stall at that extra turn. If they try to status you, you go for a Rest so you can clear their status. Otherwise, you go for Aqua Tail just to do a little bit of damage to them while you can. But that's pretty much all that a tank Gyarados can do. It's not very good as a tank Pokemon per se, but it's much better to use as a attacking Pokemon. But for this, I also want to mention a couple other interesting attacking moves that you can be using on your Gyarados, because it's always good to mention other possible moves you can use. So, Facade is an interesting move because there's going to be lots of Pokemon that want to burn you, like Arcanine or, what else burns people? Mostly I see Arcanine, honestly, but whatever, Chandelure sometimes. So they're going to try to burn you, and if you're burnt, Facade's now double damage. So you're going to be able to Facade and be able to still do lots of damage even if you're status. Or for example, say someone set up Toxic Spikes, and you're now Toxic. You're now Toxic Poison, Facade's going to do a lot more damage. So it's just useful tech to have for a status team that you're fighting. Also, Aqua Tail is useful. I haven't really mentioned it on my main builds at all because of the fact that Aqua Tail does 10 more damage than Waterfall, but has 10 less accuracy, which I'm not sure is a good trade-off because I like having that 100% accuracy, because anything less than 100% accuracy feels like it misses at the worst possible times. And also because it doesn't actually have a chance to flinch, I feel like Waterfall is a better move in general. But if you're planning on doing like a more of a tank set or more of a slower set, not Dragon Dance, then you might want to use Aqua Tail because you're not going to get that chance to flinch anyways, which is why I put it on the tank set. Stone Edge is also extremely useful for getting those flying types out of the air as fast as possible. Also Pokemon like Glalie, which are going to try to Moody Boost and then Freeze Dry in your face. So you might want to have Stone Edge to be able to kill them pretty easily. Next, Thrash. It's a nice high base power move that you're going to be able to use that won't get, for example, Misty Terrain locked like with Tapu Finny out. So Outrage, not the most useful 120 damage confusion move. But otherwise, now we're going to have another status set. So this one could be Lumberry. So what you're going to want to do is, this is just a disturber, pretty much. If you're going to find, there's really disturbing Pokemon out there called Xurkitree. Xurkitree is going to try to Z-Hypnosis you, put you to sleep, and boost its speed. If you Sleep Talk, you can potentially substitute, still taunt it, Roar, so it can't get that Tail Glow, Roar, so that way it loses its boosts, and then it's sort of done for the rest of the game. Just really useful anti-sleep tech. Substitute. Pretty much the Pokemon does no damage, no win condition at all. It's just there to disrupt everyone. Now here's the next one. Z-Splash Gyarados, because Z-status moves do interesting things, because you can have a status move, and once you apply a Z-Crystal onto that status move, it's going to all of a sudden have an extra effect. For Splash, if you use a Normalium Z and you do Z-Splash, it's going to boost your attack by 3 stages, which is ridiculous. It's more than a Swords Dance in the first turn. You Splash, You try to go for a bulky Gyarados set because you're not going to be able to outspeed anything anyways. So you splash, you go for crazy damage, try to get more Moxie boost, and try to keep on building that attack up, but you're most likely going to go down in this case. But it is an interesting set anyways because you can catch someone off guard with a splash, with a Z-Splash moveset, because people are going to be expecting Mega Gyarados when they see Gyarados. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Gyarados is a really, really strong Pokemon. It's really used in the metagame, so you might want to carry some Pokemon to be able to counter it. You're going to want some Fairy Pokemon, you're going to want some Electric Pokemon. It's just really useful to make sure that you're able to counter this, because it could sweep through your team without you knowing. So this is as much of a how to use it for yourself guide as it is a how to watch out for it guide. So thank you guys for watching, and see you next time for another Pokemon strategy.